Matthew's Message, June 2, 2014. With loving greetings from all souls at this station, this is Matthew. First we say, everything going on in your world is in response to the ever-increasing vibrations, and along with evident progress, you are seeing the remnants of what naturally follows the departure of darkness. Free from that shroud of negativity, individuals no longer are acting under its ponderous influence, but rather in line with deeply rooted religious, political or philosophical convictions, and occasionally from deranged mental functioning that is intensified by the prevailing vibrations. Now, we happily address the major issues of expressed interest. What do Vladimir Putin's actions in Ukraine portend for that region? For the short term, general confusion and in some quarters, fighting. Putin wants the same that other national leaders want: a strong economy, a stable government, and a calm citizenry. He didn't realize the breadth of discontentment among Ukrainians or anticipate the outcry after those living in Crimea voted to join Russia, where the majority of voters feel a comfortable familiarity. Actually, this is a case of rejoining. Throughout your recorded history, national borders have swayed to and fro, in accordance with the victors of wars, ensuing gain or loss of control, and need for natural resources. Never have the few in power considered how this affected the populace, whose lot was to endure the results of a culture split into different national allegiances, or the combining of different cultures under one flag. That ages-old system has been coming apart at the seams side by side with tyrannical regimes falling as voices have risen to crescendos with demands for change. Disagreement as to exactly what direction those changes should take is due to the lingering duality within individuals at the extremes of the spectrum: progressive, futuristic ideas at one end, intent to hold on to or return to the past at the other. As the light continues intensifying, the extremes will fade away as the desire to live together harmoniously becomes ever stronger. Will the natural gas deal between Russia and China be severely detrimental to the United States economically? Will those countries try to overtake the U.S. militarily? No to both questions, and we view that alliance as positive. Attaining energy sufficiency via a mutually beneficial arrangement engenders a sounder economy, more stability in governance and more satisfied citizens. That is what the Chinese and Russian leaders need and want. From an environmental view, extracting the planet's natural gas is not good, but it doesn't pose the same potential for destructiveness that oil has caused time and again. It doesn't pollute your air as coal does, and it has none of the dangers inherent in nuclear energy. Gradually you will forsake fossil fuels as renewable energy sources expand, and when Earth is within energy planes where photons are more numerous than electrons, you will be using free energy only. Many also are mulling over another issue that readers requested our comments on: racism in the United States. Let us separate the chaff from the wheat here, that is, the cited individuals from the issue itself. By no means is racism confined to the United States, and definitely not only to the few persons identified in news reports, but whatever is highly publicized in that country becomes newsworthy everywhere. This vitally important issue is showcasing, again, the ugliness and cruelty of racism wherever it exists, so your society will rid itself of this pervasive ill. Even though everyone on Earth has experienced the harshness of this discrimination in one lifetime or another, probably in many lifetimes, never was this intended for any of your races. Let us for a moment go back into your planet's antiquity, when several civilizations went there for various reasons. The purpose of one was to mine gold, and not wishing to perform the heavy labors themselves, they brought in a population with low intelligence to do that work. Later, members of the civilizations mated with the worker population, thereby raising their intelligence level and producing various skin colors and features. When the civilizations saw that the different races greatly enhanced the entire nascent population, they bestowed upon them a conscious awareness of the beginnings of all souls. The diverse appearing population continued evolving spiritually and intellectually, and lived peaceably until the dark forces moved into the solar system and introduced fierce components of prejudice and divisiveness. the dark forces left the area decades ago, and the last of their shroud of darkness that had engulfed the planet for millennia left when Earth emerged out of third density 18 months ago. The racism spawned by darkness must leave too, and giving this international attention is necessary so that love can replace the bias and perceived separateness due to superficial differences. In the stirring song, America the Beautiful, are the words with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Brotherhood of shining souls from sea to sea is on your world's horizon. A reader asked this related question: to what extent is race a factor in U.S. President Obama's very low rating in his country's polls? We don't know the percentage, but we do know that race is not a major factor, and it exists only in his own country. His election was met with exultation and hopeful expectations on a global scale, as if he could fix all the wrongs in his country and cure all the ills of the world. Those expectations haven't been met. Few foresaw the sustained opposition he would encounter, and while that quickly became clear in Congress, the Illuminati's influence within and behind that body isn't known. When that truth comes forth, all will understand what President Obama has had to deal with in his efforts to uplift his country's peoples and bring peace to your world. Furthermore, the many strides he has made despite formidable opposition aren't being heralded even by his own party. We want to mention that along with racism, mainstream media in many countries are publicizing corruption in corporations, banking, and investment institutions. Sexual molestation of youngsters by priests and others in positions of trust, rape, mass impoverishment, discrimination, even punishment of homosexual unions, random multiple shootings, denial of human rights, environmental pollution, self-serving leaders and governments, spying into private communications. Those examples of plagues that still blanket your world are being thrust into the glare of the global spotlight to support your determined efforts to end those and all other forms of injustice. Also, we have been asked to comment on the lack of proper health care for war veterans in the United States. Although this question, too, is country-specific, that lamentable situation pertains to all veterans and combat troops around the world. Earth no longer can tolerate the negativity of war's physical, emotional, and mental damage, which extends far beyond the troops, their families, and the affected civilians. The collective consciousness of the peoples had to reach this level of intolerance so that the long era of warring in your world finally can come to a close and exist only as sad chapters in Earth's history book. Something that is not getting mainstream media attention but was disclosed on the internet is the recent resignation of a Jesuit in a prominent position after the International Common Law Court of Justice cited his participation in satanic rites. The resignation is noteworthy indeed, and so is the naming of other individuals, including Pope Francis. Mother, please insert what we have said previously about this soul. Like his colleagues in the Vatican and some individuals outside, Pope Francis knows of situations hidden from public view, and he has the innate goodness to feel compelled to end the most ungodly, the international headquarters of Satanism in the bowels of the Vatican. As the light keeps intensifying, that end will indeed come, but it remains to be seen if the Pope has the ability to defy those who are dead set against letting the world know that this diabolical situation ever existed within the Vatican walls. April 11, 2013. Pope Francis is another well-known and greatly respected person. The spiritually evolved soul who embodied as Jorge Bergoglio did so by request of the highest universal council so that later he could fill the powerfully influential papal position. In keeping with the soul's acceptance, the universe paved the way for the opportunity that fit. Thus Bergoglio became the Pope and, despite strong opposition in the Vatican, he is acting upon what he feels is his responsibility, to right the wrongs that body has perpetrated from its inception. July 21, 2013. Thank you. Because Pope John Paul had the same intent, against his will, he was cloned before being poisoned. Had Pope Francis resisted involvement, the same fate would have befallen him. To expose this evil long perpetuated by the Vatican hierarchy, he had to stay alive. Now then, readers who are familiar with telepathically transmitted messages from a number of sources have asked why we haven't talked about the event that some others have. Please understand, This doesn't mean we are in disagreement with that information, simply, we don't know what the event is. Very likely, though, this is a matter only of differing perspectives. Ours is that throughout the years of Earth's ascension, myriad events have happened in every moment. The most profound was well over 7 decades past, the instantaneous infusion of light from far-distant civilizations in response to Gaia's cry for help. That light, which saved the very life of your planet, also enabled it to jar loose from the bowels of third density and start ascending. All of the countless events during Earth's journey have been opportunities for her residents to master chosen karmic lessons and achieve the balance they needed to evolve into fourth density. That advancement was an event of life-changing proportion for each of the souls who made it. While many events are known only in the communities where they occur, they are significant to the people who live there. Other events, such as major elections, wild weather, natural disasters, new technologies, widespread economic changes, medical breakthroughs, or archaeological discoveries have national or international significance. So, however our perspective about the event may differ from others' views, and without assuming that it refers to other civilizations' presence, we shall address what one reader wrote because our reply pertains to thoughts in the minds of many lightworkers. Could the event some messengers talk about be an official announcement about ETs at the same time ships land and ETs here identify themselves? Those could come simultaneously, but we don't know if they will. Plans have had to be changed time and again due to Illuminati's determination to prevent even the awareness of your universal family. What we do know is, some time ago, God relieved fleet commanders of the responsibility of determining when your world is ready to peacefully meet members of other civilizations. They don't want to cause chaos and they don't want to be killed. When God knows that everyone's safety can be assured, He will tell the commanders, now. The collective psyche of Earth's peoples must be ready to accept not only that a huge fleet of ships has been overhead for untold years, but many thousands of souls from other worlds are living in your midst. Some were born into families, others walked in by soul transference agreements, and those who came directly from other civilizations adapted their bodies to fit into your populace. Their soul evolvement status has that capability. While some hold influential positions in fields where they can effect important beneficial changes, most are there to exemplify the benefits of conscious and spiritual awareness in everyday living. You know this. You know about the ongoing assistance of crews in the crafts and that when they land, their advanced technologies will come with them. You know the effects of prevailing vibrations, the progress happening out of the public eye, and that your world is moving ever nearer the time when all will live in peace and in harmony with nature. That's why you can feel confident about your world's future and are eager to welcome your sisters and brothers. In this we rejoice with you and for you. What we see as your challenge is being ever mindful to use the universal law of attraction, which is in constant operation, to benefit selves and your world. Please keep your thoughts focused on what you want, not on what you don't want. We wish to remind you as well about the vibrations that words emit, and we quote from a previous message. In addition to the sound of words, the words themselves have vibrations. Loving words spoken sweetly by parents to their children are nurturing and assist them in achieving balance. Conversely, not only does yelling harsh words to children, to anyone, destroy their balance and the balance of the ones who yell, but when their thoughts of those instances come as memories, the low vibrations return too. Although with less intensity, written words also emit vibrations, so choose your words carefully to benefit those to whom you write and yourself, and select reading material that will lighten your heart and mind. Several years ago I asked my mother to sign her correspondence Love and Peace because those words emit some of the highest vibrations in the English language, just as their counterparts in all other languages do. It is the same with light, gratitude, forgiveness, truth, kindness, compassion, generosity, blessings and smiles. Speaking, writing, and reading those words and others that are light-filled not only raises your vibrations, but you radiate that light-filled energy to everyone nearby, thus uplifting their own. They carry forth their higher vibrations to all whose lives they touch, and so on and so on. What about words that emit low vibrations such as hatred, killing, cruelty, fear, racism, rapist, poverty, negativity, and others that commonly are used in apt situations? When we use words such those in our messages, they are undergirded with the light of our loving intent, and that raises their vibrations. It is the same when your intent is with loving purpose. Love, which is the same energy as light and the essence of all souls, is the most powerful force in the cosmos. Love light is the key to resolving all conflicts and feeling peace within. Beloved family, not since your entire planet was the Garden of Eden has there been as much light in your world as today. Let this be in the forefront of your thoughts as you continue your ascension adventure. Albeit unseen, we are at your side, embracing you with unconditional love. Love and peace. Channeled by Suzanne Ward. www.matthewbooks.com